I am a member of the Lumbee tribe. We are about 60,000 strong. We're from the southeastern part of North Carolina. I was raised by a single mom, a single Lumbee Native American mom. And in my family, especially in a lot of indigenous families, there was a lot of family involvement. So her parents, my grandparents, were right behind her the whole time. Her sister, my auntie, was right behind her the whole time. So I like to say I was raised by an indigenous village. That closeness that you see in Native families is very common. However, being indigenous in Greensboro, away from our tribal homelands, we interacted with folks outside of our culture a little bit more than we would have if we would have stayed, or if I was raised in Pembroke. So if back home, where my people is from, Robinson County, that would be a little more accepted, but here it was questioned a little bit more. Some people might say I'm removed from my tribe, but my tribe is at the house. And when it came to me becoming a therapist and my family's involvement, I'm very privileged to say that my family was very supportive. Maybe questioned it a little bit at first, but very supportive. I have that type of family. You do what you gotta do to be happy. So when I was in graduate school, the way that I thought that a therapist would be this sterile, professional person who would come in wearing no color or anything like that and would be an expert in their subject and be an expert and use all these terms, kind of like almost like a doctor's office. That was my mindset. As a clinician, one of my favorite things to do is to challenge the norms or the thoughts of what professionalism looks like. And when I say what professionalism looked like, I mean, I have tattoos and piercings, right? When I was in grad school, I had a feeling that none of these things would be acceptable in an office, right? So I hid a lot of who I was when I was at school and when I was first starting. But then I learned as I got to know myself better and got to know this field that people really, really, really want authenticity. They want a real experience. They don't want somebody who is no personality, sterile, quiet, what have you. They want someone that they can relate to. So my work in therapy, and one of my goals is to create that space that people can feel safe in and that they can relate to, and they can walk up here with tattoos, piercings, what have you, and feel not judged, because I'm not judging you. The reason why I wear beadwork when I'm at work and when I'm out in public, I wear it professionally because, once again, it goes to that conversation of professionalism, right? I want people to know that indigenous artwork is professional. Indigenous jewelry is professional. And my beadwork is just as professional as your shoes or your outfit or your diamond earrings. But my beadwork can be worn in an office because I'm professional. What I do now that's different than what I expected is that I cuss with my clients if they need it. I create that conversation with my clients. I don't have a desk between me and my clients, so my clients are right here. We are right here looking at each other. And my clients leave feeling like they're talking to a friend, and they ultimately leave feeling more comfortable than they did when they first come in. So I use feminist theory in my work with both men and women. Because I am a self-identified feminist, I have witnessed and experienced the power imbalances that occur in this world, right? So that being said, I allow my clients that space to know that, this world might be unfair, right? However, this is how we navigate it. And this is us understanding that this is how the world is. How do we handle it? But I call myself a storyteller. And by saying that, as a storyteller, I try to stay away from big technical terms with my clients. I try to say things in a way that's very metaphorical and very fun and very visual, in a way for someone to understand what I'm saying. And that also creates, and that also plays into the person-centered therapy. It keeps us on the same level. I strive to keep me and the client on the same level because one of the hallmarks of person-centered therapy is the relationship between the client and the therapist. And that relationship to me is the most important thing. I try to create a very comfortable space that most anybody, I don't care who you are, male or female, non-binary, what have you, however you identify, I try to make that space safe for everybody so I can be that person that anybody can come to. I don't use big terms that people might not understand. I try to speak in a way to meet people where they are. And to me, that relationship is so important. I get to know my clients on a personal level because I tell all of my clients, I am not treating the diagnoses, I am treating you, which is a big part of person-centered theory. Empathy, non-judgment, and unconditional positive regard are three of the biggest things that I try to bring in every session that I conduct. I've used beadwork in sessions before with clients. You know, we talk about self-care a lot. And I've had a client approach me saying that I don't really have a lot of things that I do for myself. And I might have been wearing beadwork one day and she said, you know, I don't know how to bead. I wish I did. So I said, so do you want to learn? And it was therapeutic in the way that she and I were talking, and she didn't even realize that she was talking about stuff that she might have been afraid to open up about because she was comfortable. It was like she was beading with her old sister, or her auntie, or her mom, or her daughter, or whatever, whichever role you want to use. And when we're beading, we're talking, we're laughing, and that laughing is healing. And that's something she could always take with her and do for her self-care, pass it on to her children. I did make the decision to move back home. And in moving back home, I was a little discouraged because I did not know how I was going to be able to help Native folks the way I wanted to. We don't have that many here. The population is a lot smaller. But I am very grateful to Creator that the indigenous folks in the area, and now thanks to telehealth and the pandemic, still can come find me. So I can still be the indigenous provider that I want to in the city when there is not a big indigenous population.